Deciding to waive Golden, was that due to things that happened yesterday, or was that there's overall issues there?
No, it's just a football decision, making what we felt was a good decision for the football team and for the young man.
With the kickers, will you entertain bringing in kickers for tryouts, or are you going to stick with Sly?
Well, those are things that we're going to most certainly discuss. It is about going out and doing your job, and and Joey's well aware of that, and it's something that we're going to talk about.
If you did bring anybody in to take a look at, would that be tomorrow in all likelihood, Ron?
Well, I can't tell you that as much as how they would set it up.
You said that with Golden, it was the best thing for the football team and for him as well. Sometimes it's just not the right fit, and you find that out over the course of a few years.
Yeah, I think the decision we made is for the betterment. So we're going to move from there.
Everything okay with DJ?
Yes. He took a pretty good shot, I guess, to the elbow, and he had to work. He played through it, which was outstanding. I mean, a young man like that, could have easily gone down, but he fought through it and came out and contributed and made a lot of big plays for us. And he's become one of those kind of guys that you can rely on, and you see the toughness about him. He's got a mental toughness about who he is as a football player, and I think he's a good example for a lot of the other young guys to see. A guy that goes out and competes and knows the difference between pain and injury.
I know you're not a kicking coach, Ron, but Joey had said yesterday that he thought part of the issue was his plant foot getting too far ahead, causing the. I didn't know if you'd had any discussions with him about that or anything on tape that showed up.
Well, like you said, Joe, I'm not a kicking coach. I just know, unfortunately, he missed him. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, Ron, I know you meet with everyone after this, but seeing Don Taripo on crutches yesterday, what did look a little serious, although understandable?
Yeah, I can tell you, for the most part, Jordan, it is serious. I don't know the extent of it. I do know he's probably going to get an MRI today, as Greg Van Roten. And those are the two things I was told afterwards, that there's concern and that they'll probably get MRIs today, further examinations.
Concern for both?
Yes.
Now that you've had a chance to sort of sleep on it and reflect on the game yesterday, what is the key takeaway coming out of New Orleans? We
started slow. Defensively, we gave up a big run, which, again, I know you guys have heard me say it before, but it really does come down to gap control. And we can't turn the ball over. We can't make a mistake, especially against a good football team. Once we settled in, I thought we played them. I thought we stood up to them toe-to-toe. We did things we were supposed to give ourselves a chance to win down the stretch. And, it was a tough hole to dig ourselves out of, being down 14-0, but I thought Kyle responded tremendously well. I mean, he played a very good football game, very smart, good decisions, delivered some good balls that were very catchable. Our guys made some great plays. As I said, DJ played a tremendous game. Curtis was terrific, ran the ball very well at times too, and I think it adds a little bit more of a dimension to our offense. Took a little bit of pressure off of Christian, although Christian did still handle the ball an awful lot. But I just thought Kyle did some really good things. Defensively, like I said, with the exception of giving up the big run, we gave ourselves opportunities. We thought we were pretty good in third down. And again, it's you talk about who we're playing against. You're talking about a team with a lot of weapons offensively.
The 3 snaps after you successfully challenged the PI, which of those 3 did you think had the best chance? Or
I think they all had a good chance.
Were there any? I guess the third down play was you had tackles coming in and out with injuries. Is that the one that that was the toughest to swallow?
No, they all were, because there are certain things that happen on each play that if we could execute it, or we could have done a little something different, we had a chance, and there was opportunities, and we just we didn't convert. Could we have called something different? Yeah, maybe, but there's nothing saying that those would have worked as well. But again, we were in that position. We gave ourselves a chance. It's just unfortunate.
Who was Kyle looking for on that second and third down plays on this?
On the very first throw, he had an opportunity for Curtis, and as he came out, he decided to look a little bit further downfield. On the second ones, I believe it's front, back to the middle. I think was his progression. I'm not really sure on that last one, but I do think it was front, back, and back to the middle.
Had you gone over the scenario yet with Sam, or just in your head, that if you had not lost any yardage on the third down play, what you might have done on 4th and goal from the 4?
You still have to kick it. You know, it's one of those things that you do look at and you do say, hey, look, you know, a touchdown, you know, gives you a better chance, obviously, to win, but you still had to kick it.
You kicked an extra point at 31-32, and I guess could have gone for 2 there to try to take the lead, and Sly had already missed twice at that point, but he made that one. What did you think at all about going for 2 there?
The charts all said kick it.
Hey, Ron, what have been the discussions like, especially in the coaches' meetings when designing and trying to execute short yardage plays? Just a couple times this year in important situations, it just seems like you guys have come up maybe a couple inches short.
Well, yeah, but it's a matter of it's really come up to about 3 yards in 3 games. You know, you think of the first Tampa, you think of Tampa, you think of Green Bay, and then this one. And every time something's designed, it's always about what we believe gives us the best opportunity. You know, you try to look at matchups. Some things you don't consider is who's hurt and who's not hurt, you know, at the time. You know, got good momentum. You've got momentum on your side. You feel good about what you're doing. And, you know, sometimes it comes down to a matter of one guy, which we've seen, and it's unfortunate.
On New Orleans' last drive, was there a play? You had some pretty good situations. There was a play that was there something Breeze did that just was exceptional. That
Well,
changed
he hit us on one that he came out and he pump faked and was able to reset and throw the deeper ball on one of the curls when the ball was still in the 50. And I mean, it really, he sold it good and was able to reset himself. And I believe it was he hit 13 over the middle for first down. And then on the last play, you know, the big throw to 13, you know, James was in good position. He's got help, and he loses leverage when he slips. I mean, that's all I can say on that play. I mean, James had played a very good game for us, played very hard, did the things he was supposed to, and on that one particular play on the double move, he slipped trying to come back out of it. He had leverage initially, but as soon as he slipped, he lost his leverage.
I know you had mentioned you talked to Kyle after last week, and just seeing him leading this team back from double digits twice, what do you take away from his performance? And did you talk to him after and say
Yes.
anything?
Probably the biggest thing, you know, again, is Kyle learns and you know, he very seldom makes the same mistake twice. I think that's probably the biggest thing I've taken from him is that, you know, I know with the people that have talked with him as far as Scott Turner and Norv and you know, just giving him advice and then me, you know, coming up and talking with him, I think he gets it. He understands that, you know, hey, let's correct things and let's don't make the same mistake twice. And he very rarely does. And that's probably one of the biggest strengths he has is that he learns from his experiences. And I just think the more reps he gets, the more opportunities he gets, the more he's going to grow as a football player. So I'm pretty excited about him.
Ron, especially coming out of the Atlanta game, did you feel Kyle, one of those lessons, maybe just kind of stepping up in the pocket, particularly that throw to DJ, he seemed to climb it well?
Well, it's you know, he's always had that feel, and I think though probably probably a couple of the biggest things you saw was he moved around and threw the ball away. He got it out of bounds. He got it towards the receiver into the ground, stuff like that. He's done those things. He did those things a lot better. And then the other thing is he scrambled and picked up a big first down. I think those are all the things that he's learned.
You talked about James and had played a great game and then had that stumble and that kind of defined the game a little bit. For these younger players, maybe not James, but maybe Dennis and Greg, it seems like when they do make a mistake, that's what people outside of the team tend to focus on. How do you as a coach kind of coach them up and have them focus on the positive as well as?
Well, that's exactly it. You try to get them to focus on the positive. You got to look at who they're going up against. I mean, you know, Greg battled with you know with 94 all day, who's really one of the elite pass rushers in the league, and did some good things against him. Shut him down a couple times. Now he didn't win them all, but there's growth, and that's what you got to talk about. There was enough growth that it gave us an opportunity to help give us an opportunity to win a football game. That's what you want to focus on. Is you want to focus on the good things that they're done. You know, there's a lot of good young players that are playing. It starts first and foremost with our quarterback. I mean, again, he's essentially in his rookie year as a player out on the field, and he's playing solid football, good football. He's playing enough good football to give us a chance to win. Then you look at the young offensive linemen that continue to be put in tough situations. They battle. They do the best they can for us. But again, the most important thing is they're getting reps and they're learning. Our young receivers have stepped up the last few weeks and played very, very well for us. On the defensive side, we got a lot of young guys contributing. It was good to see Brian Burns out there and really kind of play where he really wasn't focusing on his hand. I mean, he was productive. He was active. Made a couple of mistakes, but again, he did the things that he's capable of. So, and the nice thing is I think he's past the hand. Christian Miller got back out there and got a couple opportunities. He played well. That was Dante played a good game, played a much more disciplined game, and really showed what his abilities are. I mean, he ran with Ted Ginn, which was pretty impressive. So, we've got a lot of good young guys that are getting opportunities, and it's about growth. But the truth of the matter is we're through the process of their growth, and it's time to play, and we'll see from here.
Ron, overall message. Last week you talked about controlling the destiny.
Absolutely, we still do. We're still in it, believe it or not. And the biggest thing that we have to do is we've got a Washington team coming off of a victory, so we've got to get ready for them. We've got to go out and play to our abilities and play some good football.
Hey, Ron, with Brian, noting that he is playing like he's kind of past that hand injury and especially was effective late, how do you continue now to try to increase his snaps and work him in earlier and then more consistently in the rotation?
Probably the biggest thing is it'll happen in practice as well. I mean, we had to limit his reps during practice and just being aware of it, trying not to have him get it, take a shot on it. So now it is about getting him in early and having him as part of a good rotation and getting him back to about 25, 30 reps like he had earlier in the year.
We saw Brian playing gunner at
Yes.
one point as well. Can you just speak to the obviously athletic ability to do that at his position?
That's basically it. A guy that with his athletic ability and his speed and quickness is a guy that can be a benefit out there, and it can be a huge bonus to have a guy like that, especially if they want to single him up. You get a guy like that running downfield and being able to take a shot at a returner, something good could possibly happen. So we were pretty excited watching him run down as well.
Ron, how much more clarity do you think you and maybe other coaches in the league will have on when to throw that flag challenge the pass interference?
Well, it's interesting because again, the whole thing came about is it's really about being an egregious penalty, and the thing that really kind of triggered my mind on it was when Jarius came to the sideline and says, "Coach, if he doesn't grab me, I have a chance to catch a touchdown." And that's what triggered it for me. It was in a critical situation. It was near the end of the game, just before the just before the 2-minute. And so you knew that I felt that's really probably what it was designed for, because it's to make sure that at the end of the game, when something that egregious can happen, that's what I think we as coaches really probably need to think about and focus in on. And I had to agree with Jarius when I saw the replay for the first time up on the board. I thought, okay, that's one of those things because he got grabbed, and who knows, because with the route that he was running, cutting across the face of the defender, if he doesn't grab him, Jarius has a chance. I'm not going to say he would have caught it, but I think he would have. I think he had a chance to catch a big play. So that's I think what the whole idea behind the penalties is. It's got to be a clear and obvious, egregious penalty, and I think that fit the criteria.
Were you surprised?
Especially where it was.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say, were you surprised that they actually went your favor, because there have been pass
Oh, yeah.
interference calls that were even more egregious that they haven't called or reversed?
And I'm just wondering if it's situational. If you're looking at, because again, up to that point, for 57 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it was, the game, in that portion of the game, that's that. But when you get close to near the end of the game where something that big could really truly impact, I think that's maybe what the interpretation will be. But we'll see. I mean, I don't want to put the words in the league's mouth, but I kind of felt that's why it was worth the challenge.
Did you hear gotten,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how gun shy had you gotten about challenging those things? Because early in the season, I think you challenged one or two, and
No. No, I think really I've been looking for this type of situation, a challenge, to see what the interpretation would be, and I think that's what it's for. It's funny because I can remember discussions we had as coaches and at the owners' meetings talking about it, And it always seemed to come back to the egregious, clear cut in that type of situation. So maybe that's really what the criteria will be. But, you know, again, just to me, listening to what my player said to me, I mean, I saw something, but when I heard him say, "Hey, coach, I had a chance to catch that ball," then I thought, okay, we'll take a chance. And I didn't think it hurt anything. You know, we were in a pretty good situation where we were going to have to kick one at that point or not.
Did you hear from any colleagues or other coaches just about that challenge and that call in particular?
No, I haven't.
Hey, Ron, when it's a player like Jarius who's been around the league for a while and not maybe a young guy who's, you know, in the lights and things like that, is it easier to just cut right through
Yes.
to the center of what happened?
It is. You know, some guys are get quite excitable about certain situations, circumstances. Jarius is very cool and calm, and I think it's a reflection of the position he plays for us. But when he came to me and just said it the way he did, I felt that was probably the thing. Because, you know, Sam Mills saw it and said the same things to Coach. He grabbed him, you know, coming across, and I said, well, the big question is going to be, was the ball in the air? Was he releasing the ball? Was it already out of his hand? And Sammy said yes, and Jerry said just as that, Jerry says to me, says, Coach, I could have caught that. I thought, okay, we'll throw it and we'll see what happens.
Rod, do you know what you are going to do with the corresponding move with Galden?
No. Again, I'll go up and talk with Marty and see the direction we want to head, go from there. Good, cool. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ron.